Hello everyone, this is Carol. I'm back to show you another journal that I've just completed. This time it is for a guest design team project for Carol Tinson of Crafty Emporium. I will link everything below so you can know where to find Carol, all the kits I've used, and the papers and such. This journal is 5.5 inches wide by 7 1/4 inches tall. It has a 1 3/4 inch spine, which I've covered in lace, and the back I've left plain with paper from my stash. That paper is the same as the front, also is from a paper pad called Jubilee Collection, and I got that a while back at Tuesday Morning. I've used a frame that was in my stash. I've outlined it with stickles, and I have put one of Carol's pictures that are in the kit. The Language of Flowers is the main kit that I've used among several others that Carol has in her shop, and this is one of the images in the shop. The flowers on the front, the applique was gifted to me by a friend, and I will take you in. I put eyelets for the closure with ribbon, and I always make the ribbon a little longer. You can cut that shorter, or it is changeable also. And we'll go in, and inside, this is from the paper from my stash on the inside here, and the green, that is paper that I have, that I own myself. And here is the first tag. This is a tag that Carol has in her kit. This is Blossoms, the Blossom Bundle. And I line all the backs of my tags. I use the Mini 8 punch for the pocket there, and I use the flat back gems there too. Now, the first page is a pocket, and it is also a journaling card. There's a couple of things in there. And this is one of the images in the kit, The Language of Flowers. And this is fuchsia. And it tells a little bit about the fuchsia and has the little girl there on the picture. And there again, that's lined. I backed behind the acetate in the frame, and this is in the kit, and I cut that out and so that I could make it a frame, and I backed it with the music paper. And then you could put your own photograph in here also. So I wanted to show how that could be done. So there's that. Here's an envelope from one of the floral kits. And this is not the Blossom Bundle. This is another kit in Carol's shop that I own. And I put some goodies in the envelope. I won't take those out, but that goes in one of the pockets here. The second page is also a pocket. This is in the kit. There's room to write there to journal on. This is a card. It just happened to work with this kit, and this is from the DCWV Botanical Beauty Collection. It's a paper pad that I purchased at Joann's. All of these paper pads, except the Prima that I will tell you about, have been purchased at Joann's, and the other one was Hobby Lobby. So that can, I will list those below also. So I have already had some questions when I shared the pictures in the group. And this also comes from that Botanical Beauty paper pad, and I've made a little journaling card or tag there. This is a pocket that I've made from the kit, the Blossoms bundle. I've added lace. That lace is from Michael's, I believe. And this is from my stash, the background paper here. This is a napkin that's been decoupaged on the corner of the paper, and the rest I've inked with the Tim Holtz ink, and so it gives it a little bit of color and interest. Here is a picture from the kit, and I've backed that with paper from my paper collection. And inside here is another one of those from the Botanical Beauty paper pad. So that gives an extra journal card there. And this is also a pocket here. I haven't filled every pocket because the journal got so thick that you can take some of these things out and leave them out, or leave them in and add some yourself too. Here is another little image from the kit, the 2 different size circles, and Carol gives you 3 or 4 of those in the kit, and so I have done this with them and made them journaling little places to journal and put them together with a brad. I covered the brad with a little piece of decorative paper there, so that gives that a little bit of, it doesn't just show the back of the brad. And here is another image from a tag from Carol's kit. And this one is from the cigarette. I've used both of the vintage cigarette cards, set 1 and set 2. So you'll see the different ways I've used them. They come at like 4, I should have printed one of those to show you, but they come on a sheet, and I cut them down into tags. This is background paper that comes in the kit, and in the vintage, the Language of Flowers kit, and there is the Michael's lace. This is a true vintage song sheet here. I believe it's from the 1920s, somewhere in there. And there's another image from the kit that I've made into a pocket. I've added lace, and here are more of those cigarette card tags. And as I said, that's the cigarette cards sets 1 and 2. I have both sets, so. Here's another image from the Language of Flowers, and there's the background paper, and I have torn that image into this little shape and then backed it with Carol's background paper and made a pocket there. This is let's see, that is the Adverts, vintage Adverts, and this is also in Carol's shop. She has a lot of really good adverts in that, and I've got some other things that are really good that come from her shop too. This is a decoupage napkin onto the doily. There again, this is an image from the kit. I downsized those because I wanted to use them. I was kind of experimenting for the front of the journal to get that picture. So I had a couple of different sizes, and I didn't want them to go to waste, so I made journaling cards out of the small ones. And here is a pocket here, and then there's a top-loading pocket here. And that is with one of the vintage Adverts. And I added lace at the top so that when it is in the top of the journal, you'll be able to see the little bit of lace that comes out from the card. More of my napkin that is decoupaged onto the page, and you can write all over there. Here is a pocket from the kit, the Blossoms bundle. And this is another Advert card that I added a bow to, made it into a journaling card. That is the seam binding, Hug Snug seam binding. And here is another one of the journaling cards that are from the Language of Flowers. I've added lace on the edge of that, made it into a journaling card, and slipped it into the pocket here. And then throughout the book, I've added flat back gems, and you'll see that all throughout. I added lace here with this background paper, and made that into the 2 different pockets that you see. And here's the Rita Donnelly flip, and I just made that. This is the Tim Holtz die cut, the Ruffles, I believe it's called. And here is a stamp that I have. I think that will show up, I'm not sure. And I've heat embossed that in gold, stamped it and heat embossed it. This is another one of Carol's kits, and this one is the vintage photos. The family, I have the family set and the female set, and so these are wonderful, wonderful photos, and I thought they fit in this journal so well. It goes with the flowers. Here's more of the Advert cards. And this is paper from my stash, and it's just the plain green, as is this. I used the mini 8 punch, added the flat back gems, and I decoupaged a napkin over the green. And there's more writing space, and the paper has all been coffee dyed other than the images. Here's another one of the cigarette cards into a tag, added a bow. These are flowers that I make, and I added that and a bit of lace, and this is a top-loading pocket. Added the music paper on the back of that. This is a die cut that I have. I backed it with the green that you see throughout the book as well as on the cover, and I added the lace and the gems, and there's another advert. And here are the cigarette cards that I've cut out and just cut out the small image of the floral and made those into journaling cards. And here is another from that book, that scrap or paper pad that I have. I just thought they went well with this journal. I left the inside plain so there'd be more writing space. This is the middle of the first signature, and there's more writing, and this is a card that was gifted to me by Monica. I had asked her where she got that, and so she sent me some. And thank you, Monica, for that. And this is from Hobby Lobby, the little pleated trim. And I've added that to this image that is in the kit, and I made that into a pocket. That could also be a bookmark. There could be just lots of different things that you could make out of that. There's another little image from decoupaging on there, and I did the same thing on this plain paper down here. Added the Tim Holtz die cut, and here are more of Carol's cigarette cards. That kit is just plentiful with cards. And I took this is the background paper that she gives in the Language of Flowers kit, and I put some goodies. I won't take them out, but I made an envelope out of it. Put a closure on there, added the gems, and that works well with that. And this is a magnet that is kind of a page keeper. And Carol makes some of these. I will list her videos below. She does magnets in one of her videos, and I'm not sure which one that is, but it's one of her series of videos. And she is just a wonderful, natural teacher. You can learn so much by watching her videos. I've watched her since she started and have loved her from the very beginning. And she's fun, she's informative, And I really can't say enough good things about her because she does such a fine job, and I'm really excited that she's getting into digital work too and digital art, because I know she's going to really be very good at that too. And that just clips. I put magnets on both. She'll show you how to do that in that video, and I'll look for that series and print it below. And then the other side is the same, but it's just a great page finder, or page, whatever you call the bookmark. And there's more of the cigarette cards, and this time it's the whole, these cigarette cards, I've left the explanation of what the flower, this is the yellow toad flax, and it tells all about the flower at the bottom. So when you see the writing on those, that's what that is. I added a bow, added lace to more of her blooms bundle. And here is a top loading. I backed it kind of with the, in sort of an asymmetrical look, and put the green plain here, added the image, that's the daisy image. I added a daisy that I make and put the little trim around it. And there's another one of the vintage cigarette cards. And there's more decoupage. Napkin is here. And then I did another napkin decoupage on this side of the napkin. This side you can use to write on. And here is another acetate frame. This comes in the kit of the Language of Flowers. I've added the lace trim from Michaels. And this was kind of I was practicing my heat embossing, and I didn't want to let this go to waste. I tried it on the pink, and I thought, oh, that's good. So I trimmed it with a little punch and made it into a journaling card. Nothing can go to waste in a junk journal. And here's more of the heat embossing in the gold. And there's a doily that I had. This is not a pocket. It's just for decorative purposes. Here's the other side of that song sheet. There's another pocket from the kit. And here is, I added the plain trim and some lace and the flat back gems. And there's another advert card. And here is another, I added the, this is the Hobby Lobby greenery trim, and a Martha Stewart punch and the gems. And I did this journaling card. This is Holly is the name of this card, and it I added the bow, made it into the card. And here's another thing from that paper pad that I have. This says, wherever life plants you, bloom with grace. And that, these are backed with lines, and so I just left those lines on for writing. And this is one of the envelopes in the kit that Carol provides. And I didn't put anything in this envelope. That is something that you can fill yourself, and with maybe private notes or whatever. And there's one of the little flowers that I make with a little pearl in the center. This is a poem about flowers here, and I won't take time to read it, but I made it into a pocket. I just felt it needed to be shown in here. And then I added the flowers. Those are flowers that I had in my stash. This is paper from the Prima collection, The Tales of You and Me. I use this all the time. I love this packet. And I forgot to put a tag in there. But here, this is a pocket. So you can see that. And then this is a pocket. And there are some of these I put things in and some I didn't. This is another pocket, and there is the acetate. with another one of the images of Carol's in it, and this is one of the images in the Blooms bundle. Then on to the second signature, and here is her little tag, The Language of Flowers, and this is from the Prima collection of paper. This is a pocket. These are some of the small images that I didn't want to go to waste, and so I thought those looked great right there for the second signature. This says Bloom, and there's a pocket here and a pocket here, and there are not things in there, but like I said, this was getting so thick, I just left things out of some of these pockets. Here's another one of the tags that are in the kit, and I did the brad on this one like I did the circles, and then that makes writing space, and you can just have the one very private and have more space to write, as well as here. And there's another paper from that kit, added gems, and I've sewn around some of these too. I have sewn around some of the pages. I didn't mention that. There are 80 pages in this journal. That's both sides. And here's another advert from the kit, from the advert kit, vintage advert. And here's another envelope from the kit that Carol provides. And in this one, and there again, I was experimenting and I printed out on pink. And again, I didn't want that to go to waste, so I just made it a smaller journaling card to fit into that envelope. I thought it went perfect in there. And this is part of this trim. That's the Tim Holtz die cut, and I made this big enough to go across here, and it had one of these little things left, and I put it for the closure there. And there's another little journaling card, or tag, I'm sorry, and that is from the paper pad. And there's more, there is a little stamped image that has been heat embossed with gold. Here is a decoupaged, the doily. You can write on this side. And here is the female portrait part of Carol's kit. I love every one of these. She didn't put a bad one in. Nothing is bad in this, but she didn't put a bad portrait in there. They're all so fun and so vintage looking, and I just think they go in here well. This is the Prima paper made with a mini 8 punch, and more space to write with Michael's trim. Here's another one of those little size down images that are in the Language of Flowers kit. This is in the paper pad. And more cigarette cards, and these I have lined in gold, and I believe, no, I didn't heat emboss those. Some of them I heat embossed, but I did line those in gold. I used that Smooch, it's called, I believe. It's hard to find, and I had some, and I use it sparingly anymore because I don't want to run out. And here is another one of the little cards, and there's 3 pockets here. This is paper from my stash with added gems. There's more of the paper, or the napkin decoupage, more writing space. And here's another one of the advert cards here. This is the Prima paper, and here is a card. This one says, "Happiness blooms from within." How true that is. There's the other side of that, or one side of the vintage song sheet. Here is a bird on a branch. That is heat embossed in the gold. And here's another one of those canning jars from Monica. Thank you again, Monica. And here is the, this is from the Prima pad that I have. Here's another one of these vintage photo cards from the family photographs. I love that one. This is the mom, dad, and the little girl. And this is the background paper that Carol has in her kit. This is one of her tickets, and I'll show you what I did with the rest of them. I cut that one off of the strip that it comes in, and you'll see later what happened to the other three. And this is Hobby Lobby lace, and then I've added the gems and the Michael's lace there. There's the middle of the second signature. This is one of the circles, and this is the large circle. I have backed it with a die cut here and made it into a pocket, added the gems, and here is someone's mother, and that is from the family photograph, or the vintage photos. Now, here's the other 3 tickets from that strip of 4. I have added the 3 bows and some gems and made it into a belly band. And here is another journaling card with one of the images from the kit. Here is another pocket from the kit, and the hearts come in the kit also. And I made that into, or I trimmed it in the gold stickles diamond, I believe is the one that I use. And then here is a tag from the paper pad that I have, and so is this one. And those fit right into the little pocket there. And there's more of the embossing, the gold embossing on the top. I did the flower kind of upside down there. And here is trim that was gifted to me, and I'm purposely not saying the name of who gifted it. She asked me not to say anything, so I'm honoring that. But again, you know who you are, so thank you very much. I know you're watching this. And here is another card from the kit that I made into a journal, or from the paper pad that I have, and it says grow. And I've got the bee with stickles there. And inside is, if I can pull it out, another one of Carol's photos. Those photos are so much fun. They're just each one of them. And here is more gifted lace that I've used as trim, and this can be a pocket. And there is another one of the photos. And this is paper from the kit. I made a little envelope from some of the scrap paper from the kit. You open it up, and there is a little tiny piece of a note card that you can write really tiny, but you can write on it because it's blank for you to do so. And that fits right into there. It matches the envelope somewhat with the little flower that I made. And here's another one of the photos. And I'm trying to think if I'm saying that correctly. Cabinet cards. Those are vintage portraits is what she calls that. Family and female, and I think there's maybe 2 or 3 kits of that. And then another cigarette card with a die cut that I have of a doily, and I put cheesecloth behind that, made that into a pocket. And here is more embossing. Here's more lace that can be also a pocket with the vintage lace. There's the doily that have decoupage on it. Here's paper from my stash made into a pocket. And this card says grow through what you go through. And we certainly do that, don't we? More than we want to sometimes, most of the time. And here is more decoupage napkin onto the paper. And I love these 2 pages. This is a love letter. And I just think it depicts this whole kit so much. It just really, it just finishes it off. And I thought the last page was the best place for that. And there again, I've got another photo tucked inside. This is of a mother and her little girl again. And here's more of these little cards there. And here's another one of those circles. And that I sewed around and made it into the pocket. And then here's another little envelope that I make. And there is writing space on there too. That fits right inside there. And I heat embossed butterflies on that. I think you can see that. And this is the last page, and here is another photo that I've tucked inside. The image from the language of flowers. Here is a letter that goes into all of my journals, and I made the envelope from paper in my stash, and I won't take it out, but everyone that gets a journal from me gets a letter, and that explains a lot about journaling, and it's self-explanatory. And that concludes this flip through of this journal. I hope you've enjoyed it. I thank you for all the wonderful, wonderful comments that I get when I share the posts on these things. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe, put a like, make a comment. I love to see your comments, and you all make such just kind and wonderful comments, and I appreciate it more than I can even express. So I will be back in another few days because I am now working on another journal. And I thank you for watching this, and please make sure you visit Carol Tinson's Crafty Emporium, her YouTube channel, and she also has a group on Facebook. So you won't be disappointed because, like I said, she's a natural teacher, and she's just a really wonderful person too. And I thank you, Carol, for giving me the opportunity to be a guest design team member, and I will see you all soon. Thank you.